Alright, form of some fat alcoholic. Can of a can of LaCroix into a bowl, into a nice big cup of rum. And now we have all the perfect ingredients to do fucking content. So, hey boys, here we're going into pretty much like some standard annoying ass cleave shit, which is basically like, hey, it's Pirate Captain Flan and Seaside Iseria. And now along with that is also going to be a Last Rider Krau, but Last Rider Krau ain't really done shit yet. So basically, hey, Pirate Captain Flan goes first, hits the whole fucking team. Inferno Khawazu is pretty much immune to bomb shenanigans because LOL AoE attack. And then also this triggers the Seaside Iseria to then do a non-attack skill. Ruh-roh! Non-attack skill into a Celine, that just triggers her autism. She goes fucking wild and just straight up blinks the shit out of whoever has the highest attack. Now, I didn't know who was going to have the highest attack, but basically it's a matter of whoever takes the hit first. It's either going to be Pirate Captain Flan or it's going to be Seaside Iseria. So, hey, whoever takes the first hit will go into the next attack with the Celine, kill them, and then we'll kill the other unit with Inferno Khawazu. And Shazam's, boys, it's Last Rider Krau being forever alone. So, all that's left is basically him, and hey, he has blind because Doris is based as fuck, and the only unit that really even had a bomb on him at any point, and at which point, hey, we didn't even have to worry about it because we were able to kill the detonators before they were even able to go off. Then Inferno Khawazu goes in, kills that Last Rider Krau, get the fuck out of my game. So, on to the next one. Hey guys, the Overlord collab came out, and basically, like, everybody's talking a lot of mad shit about Albedo, which is, like, really baffling to me, because it's like, it's a goddamn anti-cleave unit. What the fuck is there not to, like, understand about this shit? So basically, hey, it's Laia, Jacko, and Rand. Okay, they're gonna do some fucking cleave shit. Alright, I'll respond in kind with some Elena, and then, who else was it? Lone Crescent, Bellona, and then also Albedo. So Albedo is going to basically be reacting to any and all of like the crit hits going into the other units. Gonna go in with, hey, let's go Bicorn. Gonna be doing extra damage with that because 3F is actually a very unethical artifact, along with the fact that Elena is gonna be doing the protection from any and all of the oh-so-wonderful AoE attacks, and the Lone Crescent Bellona is basically there just to kind of deal with anything we don't kill. So here, that was like, what, 12k damage to Iran? Because, hey, LOL anti-cleave unit, and the said anti-cleave unit just so happened to get a crit. Do not think that I'm running this shit on like a bruiser build. Ain't happening. This is actually like on whatever the fuck crit just so happens to be on the character with no crit damage and basically just all into HP. My stats don't even look that fucking impressive, by the by. Like 28,000? That's nothing. I've seen motherfuckers up here with like 32k and like 30k and shit like that, and hey, that's just 3F doing fucking mad work. But either way, we're able to pretty much, you know, anti-cleave our way through, and we fucking win. I think Albedo's fucking alright. And to further talk about Albedo, we're going to also bring in good old Bone Daddy. And honestly, I'm not even going to fucking lie. This team, I spent so much more time actually, like, theory crafting how to even fucking go into it, because I was immediately thinking, oh, it's Lilias. Lilias is going to be doing cleansing shenanigans. Cleansing shenanigans are bad because that's going into Jenua. If Jenua is cleansed, then you won't have, like, the opportunity to do things like fucking stun shit. Whereas the simple solution is to just straight up throw Unbound Arowell at this, fucking use S3 into the Jenua, and then kill the fucking Jenua. Like, it's really that fucking easy. It's not like the Lilias is gonna fucking surprise you by being slow and then jump up or whatever whenever you do a non-attack skill. But either way, we decided, hey, let's make fucking content, boys. We're gonna use the Overlord, boys. So, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize Ainz. Ainz is going to go in with his S3, and just so you guys know, everything works out according to plan, what we're doing. So Ainz goes in with, the goal of all life is death. And that basically hits Lilias. Lilias is basically going to be on a countdown. As soon as that son of a bitch hits 12, she is fucking dead. Now, the cool thing that actually pops up with Death Sentence that I just so happened to notice while running this is when Death Sentence procs and it kills Lilias, that does not trigger the fucking ae-KARINA because it is a death that occurs outside of your own actions. Case in point, check this shit out right here. Bam. So Lilias dies, but because it was like a non-action, or like you weren't hitting another unit to go into them, it does not proc ae-KARINA to go in with her S2 to give herself CR boosts and, you know, barriers to everybody along with fucking def buff. Now, here's also where Albedo on 3F is kind of really going ham-hocks into an ae-KARINA, whereas, you know, ae-KARINA straight up has a lot of defense, and you're not really expected to do a lot of damage, but what 3F is 3F is basically a whole bunch of chip damage. That's basically exactly what fucking Rocket Punch is. So, anyone saying 3F is kind of bad, I don't know what the fuck you're smoking. I mean, I understand it's Hitler's birthday, aka fucking 420 day, and we all could be high right now, but like, I just don't really quite see the direction that you're going with, and to say that 3F is bad. But either way, we've taken this opportunity, we're able to go into everything accordingly. Now we're on to the last actual problem that we're dealing with here, and that is Jenua. Now, I initially brought in Albedo to fight this, but this is where, like, I initially see the problems that Albedo has as a, like, red bait unit. So, like, hey, all the red units are going to go into her. If units go into Albedo, she does not proc Let's Go Bicorn if, you know, they crit into her. They have to go into another unit. And that so far is, like, the only thing I genuinely kind of don't like about her. But what she does do is, if they crit, like, you know, units going into your team, they crit, you take 20% less damage, which is a pretty big thing going into, like, you know, because Jenua is fucking damage incarnate the fucking person. But either way, pretty much a lot of things kind of go wrong here because we still have to deal with Wild Dog Company on Jenua, and because Diene is on our team giving us anti-crit, and it just so happens to work in all the right situations. Like, right fucking there, we got a dual attack with Diene, and Diene was able to jump to the front so I could give myself a barrier and a heal with Rod of Amaryllis. But, like, yeah, this was a whole bunch of fucking luck. Easy solutions instead of using the Overlord characters. But hey, guys, sometimes fun isn't viable and you just want to have fun. That's just kind of the way it is. Now, speaking of, like, you know, not really viable shit, but hey, if you got the fucking numbers, aka the speed gear on your Oxlots, hey, fuck it. Let's just throw that out there and kitty cat go nuzzle, and then Savior Aiden with her cat allergy fucking dies. So that's basically what happens right here. And now all you're left with is Spirit Eye Celine and Unbound Knight Arowell. Now, like, why does this all work? It's because whenever Oxlots goes first, he gives attack buff and he boosts our Arunka up to the top. We have Little Queen's huge crown on her. We're doing lots and lots of damage to units that have barriers. The only reason why they even have barriers at the start is because Unbound Knight Arowell's there, and they all just so happen to be light units. The best fucking element in the game. But, like, hey, right here, hey, let's say the Unbound Knight Arowell went into your Oxlots and then she stuns you. Oh, noes! Well, basically, you have your Rule of Light there with you, who is there for two reasons. One, to cleanse off a stun. Two, if you just so happen to not have the damage to really go through and they happen to go into your Oxlots and they kill you or anything like that, you can revive him back and you can pretty much try again. That's pretty much the entire reason why I even have this team here with me. And then, of course, you know, sometimes shit can happen right here where, like, hey, we decided to go into the Spirit Eye Celine with an attack from Rule of Light, and then we get Dust Deviled and pretty much almost fucking die. Thankfully for us, that doesn't fucking happen, and we're able to go in accordingly, and Shazams, boys! Kitty Cat Arunka fucking done killed the light cancer. Good job, cat! So now, we're going to go into one more team here real quick. Like, in all honesty, this team it's not very good. It's a Senya, a Mediator Kawerik, and then also an ae-KARINA. Very, very susceptible to defense pinning shit that's going to be on the ae-KARINA, and any and all, like, baits that can go into the Senya, so she goes into light units or anything like that, or if you just straight up have a good form of sustain on yourself. But hey, let's go ahead and go into this, and we'll try it with the Overlord team yet again. Now, this is probably, like, one of the worst instances that you would use Albedo in, because you're not essentially fighting Cleave or any of those shenanigans. You're not fighting anything. You're not going to expect to see crits. We just so happened to see crits. Like, right there was a crit that landed on the Angelic Montmorancy, and that just so happens to give us Bicorn. Now, you can't expect that because Senya doesn't crit, ae-KARINA is usually built with no crit, and, I mean, what are the odds that Mediator Kawerik's also going to be built with crit? So that was just a lucky situation, which really does kind of make me wish, oh, hey, it'd be really nice if Bicorn didn't have the requirement of, oh, you have to be hit with a crit, and it has to be someone else on your team, and it can't be Albedo. That's like the only thing I kind of feel like, it'd be really, really nice if, you know, that wasn't a fucking thing whenever it comes to Bicorn. Now, we get really fucking unlucky, and we almost straight up lose Angelic Montmorancy there due to dual attack shenanigan horseshit, and also just, you know, the fact that we're dealing with 2 units on the team that deal additional damage, both going into Angelic Montmorancy, and that does add up to a good bit of damage. Good news for us is, we don't fucking die. So everything's good to go. Now, Ainz was able to go in on Senya, landed death sentence, 12 turns passed, she's fucking dead. And now all that's left is ae-KARINA and Mediator Kawerik. Now, ae-KARINA is almost dead, pretty much because 3F be procking like a motherfucker, as well as, you know, just the fact that Albedo actually has extra damage shenanigans that are on her S1 as well. They're just not very much. It's not a lot. But hey, every little bit helps. Whenever you start stacking up chip damage fucking matters. But either way, hey, ae-KARINA is dead, so now let's just go into the Mediator Kawerik and, oh, wait a minute. This is the big reason why Ainz looks like absolute trash and why everybody's memeing on him and saying how fucking bad he is. Now, I do understand where like a lot of the people are coming from because his S3 can be 15%ed. Something that I really, really feel like shouldn't be the case. But hey, man, if he had ER, like ER piercing, like where he could just straight up go through ER with his S3, I don't know, man. This is where like I feel like maybe Ainz needs some kind of like actual kit rebalancing or like completely different kit, because the way in which I have him built is it's all into effectiveness. There's a little bit of F-res, every other stat's going into speed, defense, and HP. Like that's pretty much it. And so far, whenever he works, he fucking works. Units will die unless they have some form of, like, immortality that prevents them from being killed by death sentence. He will kill pretty much every fucking unit in the game, unless they have some means of actually protecting themselves from the horseshit. Now, the other thing that kind of sucks as well about Ainz is, it has to be said, mana barrier? Why in the holy mother of fuck does that have a 35% chance of proccing? That's the only thing that I really feel like, yo, this is dumb. It feels like it should do way more, because the risks with using Ainz with, like, you know, being weak to 15% and light units, it just feels like it's too much. And hey, boys, now we're going into the team that we fought the very first time, except without Albedo, and you'll kind of notice something. But, like, either way, did you guys happen to catch the other thing that's really weird about this team? Yeah, nobody's in the back row. You're fighting a Jacko team with no unit in the back row. That is fucking stupid. Don't ever do that. Like, it's kind of the same thing as having Raz on your team and then not having anything in the back row to protect. Except in this sense, it's actually kind of worse, because the only reasons why you even use Jacko is also to utilize things like Chains of Chiron, because with Chains of Chiron, then you can do like extra debuffs that can go into your team. And for whatever reason, I was probably not even remotely thinking about this whenever I was doing it. I decided to bring Silvertide Christie along with Lone Crescent Bellona to go into this. Honestly, it's kind of overkill. Like, we're not dealing with Chains of Chiron, and we're dealing with like a normal Ran-based team. And it's really just not necessary, because, like, straight up, the big thing that ultimately gets us fucking ripped is the unfortunate unluckiness that is our Elena got crit by the Jacko right there. But you'll see it whenever we get to it. But either way, we've killed the Ran, we've killed the Jacko, all that's left is Laia. I have a Lone Crescent Bellona with me on injury set, so, like, I'm not even really remotely worried. But because of that one little crit that went onto our Elena, we are just low enough health, we get fucking deleted by the Laia, and now all we have left is Lone Crescent Bellona and Silvertide Christie. So it looks kind of shitty, but, like, hey, whatevs. Next chance I get, I'll just go into Laia, I'll just fucking kill her. Not like you got any fucking reviving mechanics on you anyway, bitch. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the Guild War. Hoorah! So, what's the fucking LucentAzure guy, the fucking stupid Guild War guy, gonna say about the Overlord people? Because he used the Overlord people. Basically, yeah, Ainz himself, he is a very fun unit. But the actual systems and mechanics of Epic 7 are the big things that really make him kind of not fun to play with. Basically, you know, the mere fact that the big reason why you would fucking use him, which is the goal of all life is death, aka death sentence, that shit can get resisted. And then also the fact that his stun on his S1 is like only 25%, and the fact that mana barrier can only proc sometimes 35% of the time. That is really, really fucking bad, especially considering the fact that he just straight up takes 30% more damage from light, which is currently like the meta that we're in right now, because like there's a whole bunch of light cancer that's in the game. So that's where like I feel like Ainz is in kind of a shitty spot now with like the big point of contention, because like everybody's like losing their fucking mind about Albedo because everyone's a fucking simp. But like basically with Albedo, is like I don't really see the big problem with her now that I've actually used her. Sure, she feels kind of boring, and that's mainly because she's an anti-cleave unit, but like, guys, that's what it fucking is. It's a goddamn anti-cleave unit. Do you want this fucking unit to like start fucking one-tapping tanks or some shit? Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, that's like how I feel about like all this fucking bullshit that I've been reading about the character. She functions. The only thing I kind of want is for her to be a little bit better of a full-on tank to red units, because it's kind of rough going into a Jenua, not gonna lie. But either way, boys, that's the video. If you like this fucking garbage, go ahead and hit like. And if you want to see more of my content, hit subscribe. I need a drink.